Hello YouTube once again, and it's me. Today I'm going to divert a little bit from my usual series to um because I posted this video long uh, almost a year ago about, and it was a review of the movie Titanic, and seeing as how the yesterday was the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the ship, I thought that I would review the movie again, since a few people were complaining about the sound quality and the unbearable length. um, yeah. So I'm just gonna make another review. It should be quicker and it should be a little better thought out than it was then, because 39 minutes is a pretty long time. So let's see. I'm gonna start off with the good aspects of the movie, the positive things, because I didn't go through that in the last video. So positive things about the movie. One of the best things about the movie is the CGI. I mean, it still holds up today. It still looks real. Yeah, it's very the ship itself looks very realistic. Almost like convinces you that they built a full scale model, but they didn't. Of course, that would have costed way too much money. Well, at least I wouldn't think they would. But anyway, the CGI was awesome. It was like, comparable to. I mean, it was just good because it's a big budget movie and whatnot. Another thing that was very another thing that impressed me was they recreated sections of the Titanic to scale the actual ship, which was pretty impressive to me because they're looking for an amount of accuracy in terms of the structure of the inside of the Titanic. Again, I thought that was pretty impressive that they were to go to that length. Alright. I think that's about it. I can't remember anything else that I thought was good. So, let's go to the negative aspects of the movie. For me, probably, well, of course, the sinking isn't depicted accurately, but up until 5 years ago, people really weren't doing a lot of research on how the ship sank in the first place. They were just whatever. But anyway, they didn't really know how the ship sank. They had just discovered that it had broken in two by that point. So that was, and plus they only had eyewitness accounts to, go by. So really, but now you just look at it and you're like, ha ha ha, that's not how it happened. That's not how the ship sank. But it looked pretty realistic, even though it really wasn't. But for make-believe Hollywood stuff, it's I guess it's okay. Another negative aspect. I don't remember if I'm recalling this correctly. I haven't seen the movie in a while. But Lost my train of thought. They seem to like bash the White Star Line for making bad moves or whatever. But I mean, if you look at the design of the ship, if you watched, which I highly doubt anybody who's currently watching this did, but if you just so happened to watch the entire documentary on history that was released, that was shown yesterday, you would have seen that the ship did in fact have enough lifeboats on board. The protocol of the day was when a ship is sinking, the lifeboats were used to transport the passengers from one ship of relatively short distance to another, and then the lifeboat would go back to the sinking ship, get more people, and back and forth like that. By law, the RMS Titanic did in fact have enough lifeboats on it. The lifeboats didn't carry a lot of people, but it did have enough lifeboats required by law. Another thing was they blame the I don't know if they, again, I haven't watched this movie in a while, but there seems to be an amount of blame towards the captain for going cruising through iceberg, whatever not territory, but you get my drift. You can tell this is unscripted, right? For cruising at 22 knots through in the northern Atlantic, which has icebergs in it. The reason why was again, the protocol of the time. It was, you were to stay on course and at cruising speed until ice is spotted, and then you take precautions. And up until they hit the iceberg, they hadn't seen any ice. And plus, if you look at the weather that was there, it was no moon, just full of stars. There was no moon, dark sky, and stars. That was it. Which means you couldn't see very far ahead of you. The only way they were able to see the iceberg was the absence of stars and a disruption in the horizon. So, the protocol of the day, and plus I think it's economical, because since the Earth gets the distance, I don't know. But anyway, another thing about the movie is it doesn't really seem to give credit to a lot of important people on the ship. Like the people who, okay, I guess I can let the people who built the ship aside, maybe, but they do seem to hint towards, oh well, they built it wrong, it's supposed to be unsinkable and sank, there was a design flaw, whatever. But that's an insult to the designers. And if you watched that documentary, you would have seen that the ship was actually very strong design. and and its design is pretty dang close to being unsinkable, because if you look at how long it lasted. Their designers gave it from a half an hour to an hour before it would sink. It lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes. All lifeboats were able to be deployed. 700 people were saved. Now, of course, that's not a really huge number of people, considering there being more than over 1,000 deaths on the ship when it sank, and the people who froze to death in the ocean, the Arctic, it wasn't the Arctic Ocean, it was the North Atlantic, but this very cold water. But you can't say that all the lifeboats were deployed on a vast number of ships. The Lusitania, for example, had more lifeboats to accommodate more people. It was torpedoed. They couldn't even deploy all those lifeboats. Why? The ship sank too fast. Look at the Costa Concordia that capsized off of the coast of, I think it was like Italy or I think it was Italy. Half the lifeboats were rendered useless because it was on its side. The Titanic it stayed above water in some way for 2 hours and 40 minutes. So really, that was a strong ship structurally, and so the designers of the ship shouldn't be getting any flack for its sinking. And then the people who actually worked the ship, the people who actually made the ship work, they don't really show them very much. I think maybe once or twice they're shown. A lot of people worked hard to keep that ship up and running. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds or I think thousands of tons of coal was fed into those boilers and furnaces in order to keep that ship running at 22 knots. I mean, I don't know how many tons of coal an hour, but it was a lot. And those people had to work through soot in, very hot temperatures, because obviously you need pretty hot fires in order to make steam, and enough steam to get those propellers running. So yeah, another thing that wasn't great about the movie was I forgot the lady's name. Again, I haven't seen the movie in forever, but she played an important role on the Carpathia after the Titanic sank, and she's just thrown in as the comic relief of the whole movie, which I think is nonsense. It's like, making a movie about World War II and Eisenhower is just a jokester in the corner, getting drunk all the time. Whatever. D-Day was a success anyway, right? Another thing is the storyline. For me, the storyline was way too under-prioritized. To me, it just didn't seem very strong. The movie is called Titanic, and when I first heard the movie, I'm like, oh, it's about the voyage of the Titanic and the tragedy that happened. And, I thought it was pretty interesting, and I was told it was a good movie. I was like, oh, I should watch it sometime, and I never got to watching it until like a year ago. Um, when I saw it, I was kind of disappointed to see that a movie about such a tragedy was turned into a love story. It's I in my last video I put it as soon they'll make a love story on the Space Shuttle Challenger before, a 72-second long movie on these two people are in love or something, then boom, the ship disintegrates in midair and they all die. I don't. It's kind of like that, turning, or like putting a love story on Apollo 13. That was a good movie, and it didn't need a love story as its primary plot, and I don't know, it just made me confused on what were these people trying to do. Were they trying to just appeal to the masses of teenage girls of the world or whatever? I don't know. It just seems like nobody really seems to have a genuine care for what happened on that ship when it sank. Because people only talk about how they cried so much when their hot little Jack died and froze to. I mean, really? It's so dumb, And, I mean, it's just so. People use this movie to make it look like they know the ship, they know what happened. In fact, some people the people who know Titanic, the tragedy actually happened, which there are some people that don't, believe it or not, they think it's just a movie. And the people who do know that Titanic, the sinking of Titanic happened, they think that Jack and Rose actually existed as well. No, they did not exist. They are fictional characters. And that's the problem, because when people take a movie that is based on a real life event and they put a fictional story, a fictional generic storyline onto a true real life thing, either they totally disregard the existence of the actual event, saying it was just, a movie, or they believe that what happened in the movie happened in real life, both of which are nonsense. Because I can assure you that the vast majority of the things that happened in the movie didn't happen in real life. I can guarantee you that almost 95% of the things happening in that movie didn't happen in the real event. That's really all I've got to say, really, about the movie. Overall, I think there were some really cool things that they put into the movie, but it was very heavily overshrouded by poor storyline, inaccurate depiction of the majority of characters and events, and to me, I was just not impressed by it. It's definitely one of those, ocean-forming chick flicks that only the teenage girl type can only appreciate, to me at least. And well, no, I can't say that because I have friends who actually like that movie and they're guys, but for the most part, it just doesn't seem to be, I guess, my personal cup of tea. But I mean, I just think it's more of an insult than it is a tribute. And so yeah, that's my revised version of the last video. Sorry, I'm drinking. But no, this is my revised version of the original video, which ran about 19 minutes longer than this video. So I hope you appreciate this one a little bit better. I know I believe I will, because I didn't even like the first one I made. So I hope this one appeals to the masses more, and I hope this gets my point through better, and I hope the sound quality was good enough, because the mic I was using in the last video wasn't very good. I hope this one is good. I see it's picking me up pretty well, so I mean, I'm not yelling, but I'm not, whispering either. So this, I hope the sound quality is good on this. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I got my point through. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about the video, and tell me what you think about the movie, because I really would like to know your reasons why you liked it and stuff. So yeah, I'll see you hopefully next video, and of course tomorrow, and it should be another music talk video. Actually, I might post 2 videos today, who knows. Peace.